What's going on? So you Leos have the Three of Wands, Page of Swords, Five of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, Nine of Cups, the Justice, the Eight of Swords, Page of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords. So what I'm seeing here for a lot of you Leos is that I'm seeing how you Leos happen to be in a situation right now where you're very much so moving forward. Like I said, like I've been talking about, moving forward from the nonsense that has happened to you in the past. You know, all the naysayers, the people that try to get on your nerves, play you out. None of that stuff really matters to you anymore. You don't really care about what it is that they've got going on. A lot of you Leos are definitely going to continue to move forward. And whoever it is that lost you, right? It is what it is. The Five of Pentacles represents, this is you moving forward like I was talking about. And these three cards are more so about letting old situations go out of style for you, right? Because we're not supposed to really be holding on to grudges our whole life. That's really something that people who, you know, on some dysfunctional stuff do. Hold on to one situation. They never move forward with anything. They dedicate everything to that one particular situation and time in their life. You got to move forward from that type of stuff, right? And this is exactly what a lot of you Leos are doing. You learn the lesson. This is what I mean when I say you learn the lesson, but you're not holding on to that emotion that's attached to that lesson, right? Because once you start doing that, that's when you start misjudging certain situations and you end up making certain decisions about other people out of spite. So then the thing about it is that the Ace of Swords and the Knight of Cups now represents what happens to you when you happen to be in a situation now. So this is very much so about how a lot of you Leos move forward. And a lot of you are looking to have a fresh new start. But you're going to have a fresh new start, but it will not be with individuals, Nine of Cups, who are too arrogant to get out of their own way. They very much so have to be people who have a certain level of humility, right? They're humble a little bit, a certain level of humility, because these are individuals who are a little bit they're not a little bit, they're very much so not self-conscious. They're not aware as to their own confidence in the situation, right? Like people who play games, they act like people never are going to figure it out. And this is one of the downsides of many of people who run game, is that what it is that I said on a long enough timeline, people who run games will eventually have a whole uprising on their hands that they have to deal with, because may not everyone may figure it out, because some people will refuse to see it intentionally, right, actively. But that doesn't work on everybody, and all it takes is one person for the whole house of cards to come crashing down for them. So they didn't want to, people who have this mentality, this thought occurs in their head, but they don't ever think that way, that they will ever be found out or anything will ever happen to them. So so now the Ace of Swords and the Nine of Cups now represent. So as a result of this is more so about how a lot of you Leos now, like I said, you want that fresh new start, but not if it's with the wrong type of people. The Justice now is about, because all it is that those people are going to do for you is just show you another lesson, right? Reteach you or go over another lesson that you've learned from the past and the mistakes that you've done from getting with these people in the first place. Or you'll end up seeing it for what it is, realizing that this relationship has no value, and leave. And that will be their life. That'll be their life. Their life will be them missing out on a very good opportunity with you Leos, because you saw straight through them and you saw that they was essentially running game, and you didn't want to have to deal with that. Then you have the Eight of Swords and the Page of Wands. So the Eight of Swords and the Page of Wands now represent, the Eight of Swords represents them not having any kind of answers for you, them catching them slipping, right? You know, in New York, call them catching them slipping, where you caught them off guard. They really don't have any kind of defense because they didn't even see it coming. And like I said before, people who play games, they don't really seem to understand that if someone, that's the problem with playing games. The person who's initially playing actually has a harder time realizing if they're being played themselves, because they spend so much time playing and they think that they're on the offense, when in actuality their own strength, or what they perceive as a strength, is really being used against them. So the Eight of Swords represent these people will not be able to see it coming, because for some odd reason they think that a lot of you Leos are, you have very low IQs, or a lot of you Leos don't have the ability to figure certain things out, or think for yourself, or whatever the case, whatever delusion these people have nowadays. Even though all of that type of stuff is not true. Even though, Leo is a very smart zodiac sign. I've known a lot of Leos my whole life. Even though that's not true. Even though the idea of them thinking that you Leos are not bright is not true. But like I said, they're going to have this mentality, right? You can't talk to these people about this. That's just the mentality that they're going to have. So the Page of Wands now represents this being about how a lot of you Leos, you move forward from that. And like I said before, their judgment will be you leaving them alone. So to move forward, the Four of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords, you Leos are you will see, if you haven't already, that the power is in you Leos reminding yourselves to continue to live your life how it is that you want to live your life. Yes, that's very true. Yes, that's very true. And the reason why is because then nothing and no one can get you bounded by it. See, like I said before, the only thing that people can do to get you caught up in the first place, to get you slipping, to catch you off guard, to get you to do things that you wouldn't normally do, is to use games in order to get you. So they have to degrade your value. They have to treat you like trash. But you have to understand, Leo, that if someone is going so hard, like, you got to understand, trash is trash. What most people consider trash is already understood. So there's no kind of having to constantly go so hard to tell a person who's trash that they're trash, when it's already understood by the general, by a general agreement. So if a person has to go so hard to do things that they know, because let's tell the truth. Let's tell the truth here, right? Let's tell the truth here. People who play games, they know that that's what it is that they're doing, and they know that the intent is to break you down. That's why it is that they're doing it in the first place. So a lot of you Leos have to take into consideration that if someone is with you and they're doing all that type of mess, that it means that they are being trashy themselves while trying to tell you Leos that you're trash. But the Four of Pentacles represents that a lot of you Leos really figured it out. And that what it is that you figured out is, like I said, you're not going to force relationships. You're not going to go hard. You're not going to try. You'll try your hand in trying to get to know other people. But a lot of you have to set a limit, like a credit card, and are you going to go past that limit? And then you have the Knight of Swords. If a person cannot meet you halfway, then it is what it is. Forget about them. But at some point, there has to be some sort of real heartfelt reciprocation. Otherwise, it's a no-go. So a lot of you Leos, let's clarify some of these cards. Let's clarify the Four of Pentacles. So to clarify the Four of Pentacles, we have the Page of Swords, the Two of Swords, the Two of Wands, and last but not least, the Three of Pentacles. So to clarify the Knight of Swords, we now have this being a situation for you where, because again, people can only try their hardest to break you down and try to get you Leos to think that you're not worth anything, even though that's not true at all. The Two of Wands and the Three of Pentacles represents So this is the reason why a lot of you Leos have to pick the people who you choose to give your attention to wisely.